It's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. So today we're going to use one of Lindsay, the FrugalCrafter's techniques, and that is we're going to make our own watercolor paper block. And I'll explain why I'm going to do that in a minute, but I'm going to be using this Fabriano Studio, can you see that? Watercolor paper. It's hot press, 140 pounds. It's a 9x12 pad that I got from AC Moore with my coupon, so it was really inexpensive, and it's really lovely paper. I've been using it in all my watercoloring that I've been doing lately, and I've had really good results. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a small, it's a portable watercoloring pad, but let me just explain what we're doing as we go first. What I did was I cut the 12-inch piece in half at 6 inches, so it was this long, and then I cut it in half. Then we're going to cut it in half again at 4.5 inches. I'm only doing this once so you get the idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Then let me put my cutting board away because I think that's all I'm going to be needing it. When Lindsay made hers, she made hers specifically for using when she was taking her palette to go, like out by a pond or whatever. I'm making mine because I'm really lazy, and I thought it would be better than taping it down. It would be easier for me, I was hoping, that if I had a pad like this that was completely attached, that I wouldn't have to worry about it bending or having any kind of real issues with it. So what I did is I took 4 pieces of the watercolor paper and I cut them down in half, which is 6 inches across, and in half again, which is 4.5 inches high. So that is the size, or roughly the size, of a postcard. Normally they're like 6x4, so you can cut the ½ inch off the top, but I didn't want to waste that, and I figured I could always cut the edges down or cut it down when I was done. What Lindsay did with hers is she made a cover so that she would be able to take it outside and, so it would be protected. I don't think I need a cover because I'm just going to be putting mine in a drawer. I'm getting a bunch of paper clips, or clothespins out while I'm talking to you because I want to make sure I have these readily available. You're going to need 2 clothespins per side, and you're going to have one side where you're only going to have one. So, first, before I tell you that, I took a piece of cardboard that was on the back of those pads of papers that I get from the Dollar Tree that little kids do their artist drawing on. They look like this. Well, I took the back off this and I just cut it. It's only 12 inches high, so it really made it easy to do that to it. I think I'm going to put this under it so that I can make a big mess with glue and not have to worry about it being attached to anything important. So what I did was then I cut that back piece at 6 inches by 4.5, and what you do next is you're going to take clothespins, and you're going to put 2 on each side because you're going to want them to be held really tightly. You could put more if you want them to be, if you want more, put more. It doesn't matter how many you put down. She put 2 on each side, and then she only put 1 on the bottom section. Now the bottom section, you're going to be putting your clothespin in the middle. And the reason for that is we're going to leave that spot without any kind of glue on it because we're going to use this so that the whole thing is glued together. And then this spot is going to be made so that you'll be able to take something that's flat and thin. I hope I'm pulling out the right piece. Kind of like this, and stick it in between, and then you can make sure that it works. I thought I'd just show you the kind of glue sticks I'm using. These are also from AC Moore. They're the Sure Bonder all-purpose mini glue sticks. And I'm going to have a few of them sitting just off to my right so that I can fill my glue gun as it needs it, because I'm sure I'm going to go through a lot of glue. And this is my cute little AC Moore glue gun that I bought myself, and I think it was $4. I splurged big bucks, baby, on this thing. And then I was at a garage sale And I splurged another 10 cents for this two-ended spatula that has silicone, and we're going to need a silicone spatula. So if you don't have one, you need to find something that will work equally well to spread the glue and to not burn you. I'm not sure what that would be. Maybe a spoon? I don't know. You just want to... I have a spoon here. We'll try that too, just so we can see if other things work. So I'm going to try a plastic spoon, so then if one doesn't work for you, we can, I don't want you to have to spend much money on this, is what I'm trying to say. We're going to start with our first edge, and we're holding everything as tightly as we can. And I'm going to move more of these up to the top so that we can keep that end really, really well adhered while we play with this. And I'm going to hold on to this right. Now I have to do it left-handed because I'm going to have to do that right-handed. I talk to myself a lot when I do these things, don't I? And I'm not going to do this fast like a rabbit because I just don't know what it's going to take to do this. So I'm going to put glue, and then I'm going to use my left hand for the glue. I just want to make sure you're going to push that glue into your surface. And oh, I forgot to put down, well, she put down a piece of paper that was her junk piece of paper. I suppose I still have time. I could do that. Let me get another piece of scrap paper to put on top. Okay, this page is just going to be a sacrificial piece of paper that we're going to put down on our surface so that we don't ruin any of the good paper. We don't want any of that to go to waste if we can avoid it. I'm going to get really close to that edge, and really I want to make sure that we can keep this as tightly bound as possible. So here's where we stand at this point. We've only done this much glue. Now we want to make sure we get our ends really well too, because you don't want, as you're watercoloring, you don't want it to seep under the surface of your edge of your paper. So every piece that you work on is important. So let me this is the end that we need to remember. We're going to have to keep a spot in the center so that you can cut this off once it's on there. So we need to make sure, I'm going to put a thing in there just to remind myself, because I probably will forget by the time I get to that point. I think I'm going to put a little bit more on the ends. And you see, this was my sheet that is going to be our sacrificial piece. That piece really took a lot of glue, so it's good that we did that. So let's do our corners one more time, just to make sure, just to be on the safe side. Okay. So I started cutting this off before I remembered, oh, I didn't have the camera on. So I got this, I don't know, I guess you call it a palette knife, and I'm putting it under the edge of the purple paper, which, if you'll remember, that's our throwaway paper that was there to protect our good paper underneath. And I've struggled, I'll be honest, I've struggled to get this paper off, and I'm just going to, I think at this point I'm just going to kind of tear it and then take the top off like you would a notebook. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the sides. I'm just going to tear them like you would a notebook, because I didn't have good luck with it, because I think it's because I have so much glue on the top of my edges. So all I'm going to do is, I'll show you in a second after I get a little bit more of this paper off. The only thing that I needed to do, I think, was to kind of take X-Acto knife, craft knife, demon stick, whatever you call it, and you take it and you're just going to go away from you, not toward you, because you know I'm going to end up cutting myself if I do it the other way. Let me put it there so you can kind of see what I'm doing. You're going to just kind of cut on the top of the pad. I got that edge cleaned off. Let me clean off the other 3 edges and I'll be back. So here it is in the end. It works really great for, I slit off another piece just to play with it, and I have to say I'm really tickled with it, and I think it's something you should give a try to. We will be working with it in the next couple of days, but that's what it looks like, and I'm excited about it. It's called a watercolor block, and if you, watercolor paper block, sorry. And if you are interested in making one, thank Lindsay for coming up with that. That was a great idea. And I'll link her video tutorial in our information below so you can follow that as well. So please give this a thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends about me on social media. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.